Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, everyone. Is my sound clear today?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, great. So we do have a minute or two to start the session. Can we just have everyone switch on their cameras so we see who all are there today? Hare Krishna, everyone. Before we begin with our today's discussion, and in the meantime, everyone joins in, any questions from yesterday? If anyone has anything to share or ask, they can unmute themselves and they can speak up. All right. And Radhakund is reminding of a homework. So who could learn the shloka we had given you yesterday for homework? The six opulences of Lord Shri, the six opulences, which describes the qualities of Bhagavan. Parashar Muni speaks about it or writes it in Vishnu Purana. How many of you have learned it? Please raise your hands. Okay, so I see two kids, Rishabh Dev and Radha Kunt here. Okay, well, we'll give you a chance to recite the shloka. What about others? Do you know what are the six opulences that we discussed yesterday? What are those opulences? Please, one by one, go ahead.
Prabhuji, enjoyer, then
Not enjoyer.
fame, wealth, strength, strength, and fame, wealth, strength, and
Adilishman, go ahead. Unmute. You have to unmute yourself.
Prabhuji, the strongest one in the world and the one who, the divine one who, divine enjoyer, then...
No, not the enjoyer. Not the enjoyer. Enjoyer was not an opulence.
Then,
rich, wealthiest person.
So richest, most richest,
Yes.
most beautiful. Yes, Dhruva.
then
Prabhuji, it was that the most richest, most knowledgeable. Prabhuji, the opulence. Prabhuji, most richest, most knowledgeable. Renunciation. Renunciation.
Yes, thank you. I heard each one of you. Very wonderful. I've just muted all of you. Rishabh Dev, you can unmute yourself and you can recite the shloka. What was the shloka?
Prabhuji, the shloka. Aishwarasya samagrasya virayasya yashasya shriya jnana vairagyas jaiva sannama bhaga
Itangana. Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, Radhakun. Thank you, Rishabh Dev. Radhakun, unmute yourself. Where are you, Radhakun? I don't see you on the screen. Oh, there you are. Go ahead, unmute yourself. Go. You can recite the shloka too.
Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasah shriyah jnana vairagyashaiva sannama bhaga itingana.
Okay, thank you.
Prabhuji,
So
I'm gonna speak the translation. Bhagavan is thus defined as one who is full in six opulences, who has strength, fame, wealth, knowledge, beauty, and renunciation.
Okay, thank you everyone. Let's start with our discussion. I'm muting all of you again, and we'll start our discussion at the end of the session. Okay, so give me a quick second. Let's share the screen. Shiyam will take a question in the end now. We'll start with the discussion today. And at the end of the session, you can ask your question. Hare Krishna. I hope the sound quality is okay. You're able to hear me properly. Great. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Let's start with the discussion. Let's start with the prayers and then we'll start with our topic for today. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatai Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gau Bhaktivinoda. Everyone together, please. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are on to the 22nd episode of our series of discussion from Mahabharata. 1 second, please. Yes. And today we'll be taking a topic. We have been discussing about the themes of Bhagavad Gita. And today we'll be taking the third theme, and that is material world. So far we have discussed about, does God exist? And if yes, then who is the Supreme Lord? And the second topic that we have discussed is, who is Jiva? So Bhagavad Gita speaks about 5 main topics, starting with Ishvara, that is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So yesterday we had discussed who is Ishwar. So what is the answer? Who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Is the screen visible to all of you? Okay. So who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? What did we discuss yesterday? Yes, he is the cause of all causes, Haridarshan, but what's the name? Who is that person? Is it Jesus Christ? Is it Prophet Muhammad? Is it Guru Nanak Ji, Mahavir? Is it Buddha? Is it Indra, Durga, Shiva, Brahma? Who is Lord Krishna? And we had given the Vedic evidences for it, right? And the next topic that we discussed was Jiva. So who is a Jiva? How would you define Jiva? Who is Jiva? Who is a living entity? What did we discuss in this topic? Yeah, Varuni, living entity is living entity. Okay. Yes, Jiva means is Atma. We are part and parcel of God, correct? And yes, that main answer, the main point that we discussed was, we're not the body, but we are the spirit soul, eternal part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Great. So these 2 topics have been discussed. And today we'll be taking the third topic, that is material nature or the material world. And tomorrow we'll be concluding with the last 2 topics or the themes of Bhagavad Gita, that is Kala and Karma, which is the law of the material nature. We'll try to understand what is karma and all that tomorrow. So let's get into the third subject matter, that is called as Prakriti for today as a discussion. So this whole vast material world, or let's say universe, according to our science, We call this world as a universe, which have unlimited stars, planets, solar systems. I don't know what all they call it, maybe galaxies and everything. So I just want you all to please kindly take a look at this massive creation, which Vedic scriptures calls at a material world. So there is something called as a material world, and there's something called as a spiritual world, and they're two different creations. So let's study a little bit about the material world, which is huge, filled with unlimited planets, stars, and luminaries. And watch this beautiful video, which was released a couple of years ago by NASA, which kind of gives a glimpse of the material world. We are living on a very tiny planet called as planet Earth. So here is my question to all of you. The modern science says the life exists only on planet Earth. According to modern science, they have not found any evidences of life on any other planet or any other luminary object in the universe, except for planet Earth where we are living. But I want you to remember some incidents from Mahabharata which we discussed, where actually there was an interaction, where the residents of planet Earth traveled to other planets, or else the residents of other planets came to planet Earth. Do you remember any such incidents that we saw in Mahabharata? Anyone would like to share? Let me just, okay. If any one of you remember, please raise your hands. I will unmute you and you can share if we studied anything where there were some interstellar movements, where the living entities from other planets came to Earth, or else the living entities from Earth went to other planets. Yes, Varuni.
Prabhuji, I guess when Arjun went to Indralok and when he found all those stars and everything, and when Gandharvas came to Earth.
Yeah, when Arjuna went to Indra's abode, Indralok, which is known as Amravati. That is not Amravati of Maharashtra. Okay, Arjuna didn't come to Maharashtra and went to Amravati city in Maharashtra. That was not that place. Arjuna went to a different planet. And Varuni was making a second point. The residents of Gandharva Loka also came down to planet Earth. And that's the time when they arrested Duryodhan. You remember that scene, isn't it? What were other incidents? Let's go with Utkarsh. I see your hand up, Utkarsh.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji,
Yes.
your voice is disturbing at the end.
Yes, Prabhuji, there is a disturbance. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just try my headphone for a second. Maybe internet issues again. Let me just see if it works. Give me a quick second, please. Vishwakira,
Yes, Prabhuji.
check the link on the YouTube.
Sorry, Prabhuji, I didn't get you. Your voice broke, so I was not able to.
Hare Krishna. Is it better now?
It is better, but disturbance is there, Prabhuji, along with the voice.
Hare Krishna. One second. Let me just try. Hare Krishna. Is it better any chance?
Yes, Prabhuji, better.
Okay.
Yes.
No, this is not good. How
Is this good?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Is this good? I kind of sound like a doctor. You know, he's kind of trying to give you an injection. He's asking, oh, this is good. Where should I put the injection? And boom, injection. So is this better now? This is the best. Okay, this is the best. Okay. Hey, Rishabdev, this is the best everyone says. We follow democracy. We'll go with the votes. Okay. Yeah, Vishwakirpa was saying, looks like our YouTube link has been blocked. Can you just go and see that again if the
Yes,
link is working?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes, I will see.
And I would request you to please be on track of that. Aisa now beech mein band ho jaye, because the recording is
Okay.
happening only on that YouTube link.
Okay, Prabhuji, yes.
And if case it's blocked, like last time, you can re-telecast it.
Okay, Prabhuji, yeah.
So what was the question? Yes. Who has the answer? Any other answer where the living entities from other planet had come to planet Earth? Yes, Adi Lakshman.
Say Karna that your Kavaja and Kundala is going to taken by Indra. Surya is coming to Karna's palace.
Yeah, sun god. Surya Devta came. And by the way, sun god came before also on planet Earth. When did sun god came before?
For
He came when,
granting
yeah, for what?
a boon for Sahasra Kavaja.
No. Okay, yes, Utkarsh, go ahead.
Prabhuji, when Hanuman was going to capture the sun, that time.
Okay, that's Ramayana. We're talking about Mahabharata. Varuni, go ahead. When did sun god came in Mahabharata before this incident?
When Kunti called him
Yes,
for
Karna was a son of sun god only, na? So you all forgot about that. Yes, Abhay Charan, what's another incident? Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, that you told any living entities and they come up. That Jesus also came on the earth. He's a son of God, Krishna.
Can you give me an example from Mahabharata, Abhay Charan? You're quoting Jesus Christ. Okay, we were talking about examples from Mahabharata. All right. Yes, Adhira.
Prabhuji, like while all the Mahabharata was over, then all the Pandavas and Draupadi were going to Indralok along with the dogs.
Okay, so that
time,
is, yeah, that's an incident when they went back, to Indralok. That's the point, Adhira?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
Haridarshan, let's come to you. Haridarshan.
Prabhuji, when Duryodhan went to Patalok.
Yeah, Duryodhan went to Patal. Actually, Duryodhan didn't go to Patalok. Yeah, certainly he went in that sense, okay. But what about Bhima going to Nagalok when he was poisoned by Duryodhan, remember? And what about Arjuna getting married to Ulupi, the daughter of the king of the Nagalok? So Arjuna was kidnapped and taken to the Nagalok, or the Sarplok, a lower planetary system like that. Shirang, one last comment from you.
Prabhuji, when Indra came to take the Kundal and Kavach of Karna.
Okay, and what about all the sons of Pandu? All the sons of Pandu were born by different devatas, isn't it? Indra Devta,
Yes.
The Vayu Devta, like that, Yamaraj,
And
Ashwini Kumaras, Ashwini
Kumaras.
Kumaras. So that's the point. Let's come back to the presentation. Let me just mute all of you again. So we see in Mahabharata, there have been so many discussion of interplanetary travels. Right? And yes, Haribhya writes about Ganga Devi. Correct. The whole Mahabharata begins with Ganga. Ganga and Shantanu. And Ganga came to planet Earth in a personal form. So the point is, in our scriptures, in Mahabharata itself, Utkarsh quoted Ramayana. So let's focus on Mahabharata only. There's so many discussion of interplanetary travels, where the living entities from one planet will travel to another planet. So Srila Prabhupada used to say, if the life can exist on land, like all of us, if life can exist in the air, which means the birds, and the life can exist in the water, like the sea animals, the whales and the fishes, why can't the life exist on sun, which means within fire? Are you getting the point? If the life can exist in water, land, and air, why can't the life exist within fire? And that's the whole point about it. So similarly, our scripture says that the life exists all over the place in this whole universe. However, science says, no, we have not yet found it. So let's move ahead. So if you look at this, this is just a tiny structure. This is called solar system, where there are 7, 8 planets. And do you find where is planet Earth? It's a tiny dot on this graph. and that tiny dot on earth, we are a small country, India. And in that small country, India, we are in a state called Maharashtra. Of course, not all of you are in Maharashtra, you are from different places. And in the Maharashtra, most of us right now are in Pune. Such a tiny, insignificant place in this universe. So how did this whole universe came into existence? What does the science says? Anyone know? Have you studied so far? I've enabled the chat. Okay, Shiran, go ahead. I see your hand up. According to science, how is this universe created? Unmute yourself, Shiran.
Prabhuji, in some books I've read that first the sun came and then some aliens came and the Jupiter was made.
Which book have you read? This is not your science school book. This is your fiction book.
I don't know, but
okay, got it. Thank you, Shiran. So according to the science, well, let's see, some of you have typed in your answer. What do they say? Some say don't know, and many of you say Big Bang Theory. And what is the Big Bang Theory? How many of you burst crackers on Diwali? How many of you, raise your both hands high up, have busted crackers on Diwali? Now, when you burst crackers, after lighting up the cracker, do you stand near the cracker or do you run away from the cracker? You run away? Yes. Why do you run away? Because you know when the cracker is going to bust out, there would be an explosion. And if you're nearby, you might get hurt. The bottom line is, with the explosion, nothing harmonious or beautiful manifests. And according to this theory of Big Bang, according to the scientists, this explosion led to this beautiful creation in which we have planet Earth. And in this beautiful creation, this beautiful planet, we have beautiful living entities like all of you. So according to modern science, all of you came because there was an explosion once upon a point of time. So this is theory. This is not provable. What does Vedic science says about the creation of this world? What does Veda says and why we put faith in Vedic version? So let's take a look first of all. According to Vedic knowledge or Vedic scripture, this whole universe is created by Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Does anyone know how many Vishnus are there? Or do you know only one Vishnu? Does anyone know how many Vishnus? So you all know one Vishnu. Well, there are more than one Vishnu. Today we're going to tell you about those Vishnus, okay? So from this Garbhodakshay Vishnu, from the navel, Garbha, from the navel of Garbhodakshay Vishnu comes a lotus. And on the top of the lotus is what we have sitting is Brahma. Hare Krishna, 1 second. Yeah, and on the top of this lotus is Brahma. And this is what leads to a creation of our universe, where Brahma is sitting on the topmost planet in this universe, which is called as Brahma Loka. And then Brahma does the whole rest of the creation. So this is how the creation happens. So creation is done by whom? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is Garbhodakshay Vishnu from whom the creation manifests. Now the choice is ours to believe that the God created this world or to believe that a pataka, explosion created this world. Who do you think which is more justifiable? A firecracker or Lord Vishnu? That's up to you to think about it. Okay? So there are three kinds of Vishnus, as I was saying. And who is the cause of all this Vishnu? Who is the Supreme? And this is the homework verse for all of you for today. A very beautiful verse. Etecham sakalaha pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mrityanti Juge Juge. In essence, the meaning of this verse is that it is Krishna who is the source of all the incarnations. And I'll just show you the graph. So if Krishna is the source of all incarnation, then how does all incarnation come forward or comes into existence? Please watch it to the slide, very important. How did this whole creation ever took place? So Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. And the very first expansion from Krishna is Balaram. And from Balaram comes the expansion of 4 Vishnus. Vasudev, Sankarshan, Anirudh, Pradyumna. And from them, the next comes Narayan. And after that comes Mahavishnu. You can just hear it, all this. Maybe in some future sessions, we'll talk in details about the creation. But I'm just giving you a Vedic perspective of how creation happens and how Lord Shri Krishna expanded himself in different forms. So Mahavishnu expands into Garbhodaksha Vishnu. It is just, just like all of you have your parents, the parents expanded into a son and daughter, and the son and daughter, the lineage continues. It is something like that. So you are not independently born. You're born because you have a mother and father, and that mother and father had their mother and father. And that's the whole point. And from Mahavishnu comes Garbhodaksha Vishnu. From Garbhodaksha Vishnu, Garbha, whose Garbha, from whose Garbha comes Brahma. That Garbhodaksha Vishnu further expands into Kshirodaksha Vishnu. And that Kshirodaksha Vishnu enters into our universe. So the Vishnu in our universe is known by the name of Kshirodaksha Vishnu. And this Garbhodaksha Vishnu is outside of our universe. And in this universe, then Jivas, all the living entity enters, and then we take different parts or different places in this whole creation. And this is how the whole creation happens, and this is how the expansion of Krishna. Krishna expanding into different forms of Vishnu as well as living entities. And that was the meaning of Ete Chamsa Kadha Pumsa, Lord expanding into different forms. So creation, if Krishna is the source of creation, what kinds of creations we have? There are two kinds of creation. One creation in which we all are living, which is called as material world. And there is another creation that is known as spiritual world. Material world where we all are living, and spiritual world where Lord resides eternally forever. And we'll talk about the spiritual world and material world more in today's session. So in this whole creation, spiritual world covers the 75% of the land, of the area of the creation, and 25%, a small corner, is given to the material world. And in that huge material world is a small planet Earth, where you and all of us are residing. And this is how the total creation of the Lord looks like. And in this spiritual world, Lord resides in his different expansions as Lord Ram, as Nasimhadev, as Varadev, Vaman Avatar, and all different manifestations. The Lord is residing in different planets. So let's focus on this 25% of the material world. And this 25% itself is very huge.
At 12,000 feet, the dry, thin air makes for perfect.
Look up in the sky and you'll find it. How huge is this creation? Well, with so many stars and
some of the world's astronomers have telescopes nearby.
And today we are going to talk a little bit more about this material creation or the material world, which is vast and which itself is very, very huge. And the question, why did Lord created this material world if spiritual world already existed? And these are some of the questions that we're going to address in today's discussion. Hare Krishna. Material world. It consists of millions of universe, and it is 1/4 of the total creation. And according to Bhagavad Gita, this material world is defined as Dukhalayam and Ashashvatam, which means it's temporary and it's a place of suffering. Spiritual world is said to be as Vaikuntha, which means there is no misery, it's a place of bliss and happiness. So let's focus our attention for today's session or discussion on the material nature of the material world. Why this is called to be a place of suffering and misery. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 13th chapter, verse number 8 and 12, So those of you, if in case you're making notes, you don't have to write, you can pay attention. You can ask me later on for the presentation and I'll share the whole presentation with all of you. So you can always watch it later on, okay? So you can pay attention, you don't have to worry about writing down anything. So Krishna says in 13th chapter that this place, the material world where we live, is a place of suffering. Why? Because there are 4 things that happens. Birth, disease, like corona, old age, and death. And these are not the 4 things with which every living entity suffers, either be a human being or maybe a pet dog or a cat or any other living entity. Along with that, we also have 3 kinds of challenges or suffering that we face here. How many of you have been bitten by a mosquito? Please say yes or no. Those of you can have their cameras on, raise your hand up. Okay, so sometimes mosquito bite you. You're probably scared of the cockroach or the lizard. So this is one kind of a misery. Have you ever fallen sick or have a headache or a stomach ache? Or maybe you got injured. So that's another kind of a suffering. And let me just see all of your screen here. And have you ever got troubled because it is too hot or too cold? You felt, oh my goodness, it's so hot. Wish it could be more comfortable. How many of you had that experience? Or you felt uncomfortable? Or you felt it is so cold. Oh my God, why it is so cold, right? So do you see every one of us here have had these problems? And this is what our scriptures defined as 3 crises or 3 sufferings apart from birth, death, old age, and disease that we all face. And what are those? That is called as Adi Atmika, because of one's own body and mind. Second, Adi Bhautika, because of mosquitoes, cockroaches, mouse, cats, dogs, whatnot, other living entities, which includes your friends also, by the way. And third is Adi Daivika, because of a severe weather. So this is why Krishna says the material world, the place, the world in which we live in, is not a great place. There's so much suffering and challenges. Whereas spiritual world, we don't find birth, death, old age, and disease. It's a place of eternal life. And there is no severe weather. There are no mosquitoes that will bite you. And there is no pain in your body because our body is made up of Satchit Ananda. And that's the reason Krishna says in 15th chapter, 6th verse of Bhagavad Gita, a spiritual world is a place where even you don't require a sun or a moon. It is self-illumined. It does not require any artificial source, and it is called as Vaikuntha. Kuntha means misery. Vai means no misery. Vaikuntha means is a place of no misery. So the question comes, my dear Lord, then why are we in this place of suffering? Why did you create this place called as material world? Do you all agree is a valid question? Yes or no? Raise your hands. Raise both your hands high up. If you say yes, a valid question. Why did you create it? Imagine how happy we would be now if we were in spiritual world. There is no suffering, no disease. There won't be any corona lockdown. We could be playing outside right now. We could be going out for retreat with our parents and so forth. And today, because of corona lockdown, because of disease, all of us are locked down. So why did God create it? And that's the question here. Let's go back to the subject matter. So, of course, this is, let's see, I'll try if you can answer this. All of you are 10 plus, so probably you can. I've enabled the chat for all of you to write in, but let's take a look. If those of you who are elder than, more than 10-year-old, if you can answer this. For younger ones, may be difficult. And here's my question to all of you. There are many video games, virtual games, where you do design your own city. Some of you have played those games. The games where you make your own city, and all that. So that's the kind of a question I'm asking here. Imagine you're asked to design a city a whole complete city, what all are you going to have into that city? Please write on your answers. Let's say you are said to be the architect for the city and you are given the right to design the city as you would like. What all things would you like to have in the city? You know, the place to live, house. Yeah, the Sim City Kavya is talking about, I believe, is a virtual game where you make your own city. Transport facilities, Haridarshan says temple, yes. Varuni says house, roads, temple. What about sports complexes? What about theater? No schools. Looks like kids are not interested to go to schools at all. None of you have mentioned about schools. And some of you are again and again mentioning about jail. Why are you so interested in making a jail? So you want to have a city only with a jail, no schools, no medical facilities, no accommodation. So any well-planned city would have at least these are the following things. And as some of you said, yes, and along with this, the roads, bridges, playgrounds, stadiums, malls, hospitals, theaters, buildings, colleges, and whatnot. We also need a prison house. Now here is my question to all of you. Looks like some of you are quite a smart kids because you know the prison house is needed. Why do you need a prison house? Why do you need a prison house? Okay, Varuni, go ahead. I see your hand up.
Because I guess there are some people who don't go with the rules, who don't cooperate with other people and are always against them, against the rules and regulations.
Yeah, do you have some, you go to school, you will always have some kids in your class who just don't follow.
Yes.
And the teachers have special treatment for them. Maybe send them outside the class or give them a murga pose, what they call as a, cock pose or some hand pose. They have to hold their ears and all that. So yes, Adhira, one comment from you as I see on the screen.
Abuji, it is a place in which all the criminals who either stole someone's things, who do not follow rules, particular city rules
Perfect.
that. And there is one more example of that, Prithvi Lok. It is almost a jail compared to the Vaikunth Lok.
Okay, so the bottom line, the point is there are always going to be some citizens who are not going to follow the laws. They're going to create troubles for all of us, right? And for that people or those people, we need a separate place that is called as a prison house. And that's the whole idea. Because there are always some criminal elements in the society. So for them, the authorities are forced to create a prison house. So we have two options for those prisoners: create a prison house or shoot them. Shooting them is not a good option because it just, it ends the story. But putting them behind the prison bar gives them an opportunity to reform. So they can learn their mistake and they can reform. Yes, that's the whole idea of the prison house. Do you all agree? You would prefer to put criminals in the prison bar? But now, if you are the designer of the city, how would you like to design a prison house? A prison house should be designed in a way which has basic facilities. You have a place to live, not too comfortable, but something where you can live, and you recognize it's a punishment. You are not going to make a 5-star facility. Imagine if you create a 5-star facility for the prisoners, with each prisoner getting a suite for himself, a double-bedded room with a separate dining room where he can eat luxury meals and have another drawing room for meetings with other prisoners. I guess none of you and I would be out of the prison house. Probably we would prefer to be in the prison house, isn't it? And that's the whole point. So prison house is not meant to be a place of luxury. It's meant to be a place of reform. And this material world, as Adhira was saying, is compared to a prison house. It is not too comfortable and not too horrible, but it's a place where we are supposed to reform our character. So what is the need of a prison house? What did we do wrong? What mistake did we do because of which we are put into this prison house? So first of all, the purpose of prison house is to give punishment. Okay? And the second purpose is to purify. And there is something that we all have wrong with us because of which we are put into this prison house. So what is that purification? That we'll just talk about. So let's take a look. What is the punishment given to all the living entities who appear in the material world? Anyone knows what kind of punishments are given in this prison house that is called as material world? Let's see who knows the answer. Please raise your hand. Nanda Kumar.
Means like the disease you get.
Okay, like corona thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what
Then
else?
all types of disease. Then you can get many things like first disease, then death, then birth, then old age, then
Okay, so
that only.
these are
Then
okay, thank you,
then
Nandkumar. So that I got it, Nandkumar. So that you say about birth, death, old age, this is a punishment. Okay, anything else? What else could be there? Who has not spoken so far? Kids, if you want me to just, I can only give a chance to allow you to speak if I see you on the screen. So if anyone wants to speak, please switch on your screen and raise your hand. So who knows the answer? What are the kind of things? Shriram, I see your hand up.
I have seen that sometimes it happens like this, that one man he works hard for one thing, and after that everything gets spoils, and that is one thing. And if we are doing some work hardly, and if someone comes irritate us again and again, then we feel angry, and that's the punishment. And if the flood comes or any earthquake comes, everything gets spoiled.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Shriram. So let's go back to the screen here quickly. Good answer. So what kind of punishment is given to the living entities who come to this prison house called as material world? And those punishment, as Nandakumar, as Shriram was saying rightly, as Nandakumar said, birth, death, old age, and disease. And who is the jailkeeper? Does anyone know? Every prison house has a jailkeeper, right? And who is the jailkeeper for this prison house called material world? And that is Durga Devi. Does anyone know what is the meaning of Durga? Durga. Dur means very difficult, and Ga means to get out, which means she is a very strict jailkeeper. And she would make sure anyone who wants to come out of the prison house is totally purified. And along with that, there are three other kinds of suffering that we already discussed: Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adi Atmika. So the prison house gives us this kind of punishment, and this is common for all of us. It does not matter somebody is Hindu, Christian, Muslim, Sikh, and Jain, Buddhist, or whatnot. It doesn't matter you are Indian, American, or Australian, or maybe Chinese for that reason right now. It doesn't matter who you are. It's common. It doesn't matter if you're a human, animal, plant, bird, whatnot. So what is the need of prison house? A punishment. And what we are supposed to get purified of. And it is said each living entity suffers from these six enemies. I will not go much in details, but just for your information, you're growing up, you're entering the teenage years. Just to give a little idea, that is called as, have you ever got angry? Has anyone else have got angry on you? And when others got angry on you, did you feel bad? Okay. Did you ever felt a little sense of envy? Oh, why that person got a first rank, not me? Right? All of us have. And did you ever feel a little bit of greediness? Oh, I want to have the best of the smartphone, maybe the best of the headphone, or maybe the best of the PlayStation so I can play the best of the games, isn't it? So these are said to be the enemies of the soul. And for these things to get purified, actually all of us are sent to this prison house, the material world. So what happens when a person comes to material, when a person goes to a prison house, what happens to him? When a person goes to a prison house, he's given a dress, isn't it? So Nanda Kumar is wearing a red colored t-shirt right now. His t-shirt will be taken off and he'll be given a strip dress, white and black color stripes, right? Have you seen that photo of a prisoner? wearing a white and black color stripes t-shirt. So Nand Kumar, you're supposed to have that t-shirt right now, but you don't seem to have it. So how Nand Kumar is in a prison house? Let's take a look. Or how all of us are in that prison house. So let's take a look quickly on that. So what kind of dress is given to a living entity when he comes to this world? So just like when a person goes to prison house, look at that. Nand Kumar, be alert, huh? This is how the dress looks like. So better be careful about it. So this is the kind of a dress which is given to a prisoner. So here's my question. What kind of dress did we all got when we came to this material world? And it is said, does anyone know how many species of life are there in this world? Like all of you yesterday said, there are 33 crore devatas. Please type in the chat box. I have enabled the chat. How many species of living entities, according to Vedic scriptures? 5, 10, 20, 1,000, 10,000, 10 lakhs, 1 million. How many? It is 84 lakhs. Yes, Rishabh Dev is correct. It is 8.4 million species. And this is that verse from the scriptures. This would be another verse for all of you to learn. It's a very important verse from Padma Purana. Jalajanava lakshani sthavara lakshavimshati kramya rutra sankhyakhya pakshinam dashalakshanam trimashal lakshani pashava chatur lakshani manushaha. So what is the meaning of each of this line? Let's take a look at it. Jalaja refers to living entities living in Jal, which means water. So according to Vedic literature, Vedic science, there are 9 lakh different species living into the sea or in the water. Sthavara refers to non-movable, fixed. Laksha Vimshati, which means there are 20 lakh species of non-movable plants, trees, like that. Kramyo, Rudra Sankhyakhya. Kramyo ka matlab hota hai reptiles and snakes. And there are 11 lakh species. Rudra means 11 lakh species. Pakshina means the birds. There are 10 lakh species of birds. Trimashal Lakshani Pashava. Trimashal Lakshani means 30 lakhs and Pashava means quadruples, 4-legged animals. There are 30 lakh species of that. And Chatur Lakshani, Chatur means 4, Lakshani means lakh, 4 lakhs of human race. There are 4 lakh varieties of human race. And here I want all of you to please take a look at the screen closely. Is that so? And this is the sum of all these numbers, which sums up to 84 lakh species. Let's begin while considering or investigating the species found in water. 9 lakh species are said to be found in the water. Please take a look. So many different species of living entities are found within the water. What about the plants? 20 lakh species of non-movable living entities like plants, the trees, and so forth. All kinds of varieties. The abundance of it. And similarly, there are 11 lakhs species of insects, which includes your mosquitoes and all their family members, of course, their relatives also, and all the reptiles, the snakes, the butterflies, the bees, and of course, the reptiles, the snake. And look at that. That's a most beautiful picture of the day today, isn't it? Don't look at it for long. You might not get sleep in the night. And look at that happy smiling face. How many of you would like to make a friendship with this fellow? Nandakumar, what your thumbs down means? Means no friendship. You don't want to make friendship. Okay, no problem. We will not send it to him to you. Okay? and the tortoise, like this. And then there are 10 lakh species of birds, varieties of birds in this creation. And not all of them are found on planet Earth. These all species are present all over the material creation. So please don't say that, Oji, are these all species on the planet Earth itself? No, that's not the point. They're present all over the material universe, which is huge. Hare Krishna. She looks surprised looking at all of you. And so many beautiful birds. And then there are 30 lakh species of four-legged animals. According to Darwin's theory, this was your great-great-grandfather. Does anyone know? Darwin called this fellow as your great-great-great-grandfather. What is the name of this great-grandfather? Okay, Anand Kumar, speak up. Yeah, go ahead, unmute yourself.
Monkey.
Oh, well, it doesn't look like monkey, it looks like gorilla. Okay. I mean, I'm pretty sure neither yours nor my great-great-grandparents came from monkey, but of course, for Darwin's, his was really. And look at this different quadruped, which means four-legged animals. And so many numbers of four-legged species are found in this creation, our material world. And of course, this looks like similar, huh? All of you probably know this living entity. You might find this living entity in your neighbor's house. Okay. And all these different living entities, which are four-legged animals. And that's a favorite monkey. So these are 30 lakh species of that. And now let's come to the 4 lakh different species of human races. Does human race species also differ? Yes. In Mahabharata, we read about the description of, remember Bhima got married to Hidambi? And Hidambi's brother was Hidamba, who was a man-eater Rakshasa. That all also come under human category. Similarly, we saw Gandharvas who came to fight with Duryodhan. We saw the Brahmanas, Dhaumya Rishi, who were traveling along with the Pandavas, and the Pandavas are the human beings itself. And all those we saw Devatas in Mahabharata. So all these different living entities, particularly in the human space, are said to be total of 4 lakh species. And that's how we have 8.4 million costumes, which are given to us when we appear or when we come into this world. So right now, you are in which costume? Which costume has been given to you? Please write your answer on the chat box. So I know you are getting the point what I'm making here. Chat box is enabled for all of you to write in. Which costume is given to you? Yes, we all have got a human costume where we are. And that's the whole point. So, do you all want to continue to live in the prison house? Or do you want to leave the prison house and come back to the spiritual world? How many of you want to continue in the prison house? The prison house where we have to continuously go along with birth, death, old age, and disease. And time and again, we have this corona fear because of which we cannot go and play outside. So many challenges. Or we better go back to spiritual world, a place of eternal happiness, and be with our eternal friends and our dear, the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So a prison house is said to have walls, right? Isn't it? A prison bar, but we are living in a prison house which does not have a wall. And what it means, that I will explain to you all tomorrow. Because I guess for today, I have discussed already quite a lot, and it's almost 8 o'clock. And some of you might be a little tired. So I guess I will pause here. What's up, Nandakumar? You're shaking your head. Yes, I'm listening to you. Unmute.
We are not tired at all.
Are you sure?
Sure.
No. It's 8 o'clock. You look a little tired, Nandakumar. We'll continue this discussion tomorrow. What others think? Are you all tired? Or you want me to continue? Or really, I don't get what you mean by thumbs up and thumbs down. Rishabdev, what does it mean? You're tired.
Probably thumbs down means not tired.
Oh, come on. Okay, you have to speak up. You better type it. That leads to confusion. Okay, so if you all want me to continue, then I'll continue for some more time. Let's look into this, what we call as the prison house, which is without walls. Isn't it? Okay, thank you. Thank you. All of you looks like pretty alert and active today for this particular session. And you all are very eager to come out of this prison house. So definitely we'll give you the secret. So I'll disable the chat. Let's continue with our discussion. So this world is said to be a prison house. And as we know, prison house have walls. And in that prison house, there is a jailkeeper. So who is the jailkeeper for our prison house? What's your answer? Please type into the chat box quickly. Let's do a quick recap, then I'll tell you the rest of the story. So who is the jailkeeper for this prison house called as material world? That is known as Durga. Dur means difficult, Ga means is to live. And Durga Devi is the consort or wife of Lord Shiva. Correct? And that's the whole point here. Great. So now question comes, we all have been given the costume of a human. And how many varieties of costumes are available in this prison house? What is the total number of costumes? Please type in the chat box. A quick quiz for all of you. How many types? 8.4 million different variety of costumes are available. Great. So we'll make a few more points here, then we'll pause for today. So how are we bound in this prison house? And we are bound by the chains that is technically called as guna. Guna. I don't know how to pronounce anything else. It's called as modes of material nature. And these gunas are of three types: sattva, rajas, and tamaguna. And I'll give you a very quick example to help you understand. And again, tomorrow I'll elaborate more on the subject matter. So it is said that all of us, as soon as we are sent to this prison house, what happens? Our costume is changed. We are given a prison dress from among this 8.4 million species. And then we are tied, our hands and the legs are tied by these modes of material nature, which are called as Sattva-guna, Rajaguna, and Tamaguna. Now, because our hands are tied, we cannot do what we want to do. We are forced to act according to these chains, and that's the whole point. So let me give you a quick example. Let me ask this all of you. If a Sattva-guna represents a gold chain, and Rajaguna represents a silver chain, and Tamaguna represents an iron chain, with which chain you would prefer to be tied with? Which chain would you like to be tied up with? Yeah, you can type in the chat box. Would you like to be tied up with a gold chain, or tied up with a silver chain, or an iron chain? Please use the chat box to type in your answers. Oh, so happy to hear that. None of you want to be tied up. Yes, that's the correct answer. Chain is a chain, and we are not supposed to be tied up. We are supposed to be freed, and that's the point. So like that, we are into this prison house of material world, where we are tied up with these chains of Sattva, Raja, and Tamagun. And what are the qualities of Sattva, Raja, and Tamagun? In Sattva Gun, the person who is tied up with the chain of mode of goodness, he is very peaceful, he is calm, he is knowledgeable, he does not perform any wrong activities, and he helps others in a short. That's what it means. He is very intelligent, he is calm and composed, and he follows dharma. That is mode of goodness. And he's a happy person. What is mode of passion? As the picture says for itself, always burning with passion. He is greedy. He is unsatisfied. He wants more. And he becomes very upset when he sees others being successful. And what is Tamaguna? The picture speaks for itself. That fellow never wakes up, always sleeping, always lazy, cannot think for himself. He is a foolish person. That is what it means by ignorance. And like this, all of us are tied up with these three chains. So do you know Ramayana, right? We have discussed Ramayana and the three famous brothers in Ramayana, Ravana, Kumbhakaran, Vibhishan. Now if I ask you, who represents mode of goodness here among all three? You have to type in your answers, please. Please type in your answers so that everyone gets a chance. Who represents mode of goodness? All of you have studied Ramayana with us. And yes, Vibhishan, he was follower of Dharma. He was happy. He was satisfied. He was worshipper of the Lord. And that's why Vibhishan was a mode of goodness. Who represents mode of passion? Ye dil mange more, always greedy, always lusty, always competing with others. Never happy, satisfied. Yes, Ravana. And who represents mode of ignorance? Always sleeping, always lazy. Who was that? Kumbhakaran will wake up once in a day or once in a year for one day. And that's what a simple example. And here, I'll tell you one small short story. Okay. And let me just pause now. We will not go with the presentation board ahead here. I'm going to tell you one story and you have to give me answers for it. And with that, we conclude for today's discussion. And tomorrow we'll continue our discussion again from this three modes of material nature and talk about karma and akala, and we conclude the themes of Bhagavad Gita tomorrow. So please pay attention, all of you here, okay? And if you like, every one of you can switch on your videos, so then we can interact and stay alert. Great. So it's a story of a monk. It's a story of a cap seller. There was a person in a village who used to do a business of a cap. He used to make caps and he used to go to another village to sell those caps. So one particular day, while going to the another village to sell his caps, he decided to take some rest underneath a tree. And he decided to sleep for some time underneath the tree. So he put his bag down and his bag was filled of all the caps that he was carrying for the other town. At that point of time, the man didn't realize, but there were so many monkeys on the top of the trees. And the monkey came down and all the monkeys stole all the caps of this cap seller. And when the cap seller woke up, he realized that all his caps are gone. He only was left with a single cap that he was wearing, which he had kept in his pocket. And all his caps are gone. Now the question arises, how a person who is in mode of goodness, who is in mode of passion, who is in mode of ignorance, is going to react to this situation. Is it clear? My caps are stolen. What do I do? So depending on the modes, if somebody is in a sattva gun, rajagun, tamagun, his responses will differ. So let's take a wild guess. You know, tamaguna means a lazy, dull-headed, and a fool. That's what tamaguna. So how do you think a tamaguna person would respond when all the caps are stolen? What will he do? Who would like to give an answer for this? Who have not spoken so far? Kavya, I see your hand up. Go ahead. Speak up, Kavya. You have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Prabhuji, they will act like they're very angry and they
Okay. So you're saying, Kavya is saying the person who is in mode of ignorance, he will become very angry. Okay. Anyone else? Kavya gave the answer. Vrinda. Yes. You're speaking for the first time in the session. So go ahead.
Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Prabhuji, the person will be very lazy and would not react at that.
Very good. The person would simply cry, would say, oh, how unfortunate, I lost everything. And he will go back to his home. He will not do anything. That's a Tamaguda person. So let's come to a person who is in mode of anger. Kavya, you got the answer? He's not going to get angry. He just will say, I'm so unfortunate. I have been, I have been robbed. He will not do anything. And he will just walk away crying and complaining. What is mode of passion person going to do now? His caps have been stolen. Who has not spoken so far? Let's take a look at all the screens. Who would like to give an answer? Mishti, I see your hand up. You have not spoken today. Please go ahead.
So if the person was in the mode of passion, he would probably be really angry and he would like take a stick and probably go chasing the monkeys.
Yes, he will become very violent. He will curse. He will use bad words and say, "You rascals, you monkeys, how dare you take my caps? I'm going to kill you all." And he will become super angry. Now, do you think if somebody becomes angry like this on all the monkeys are going to do anything? The monkeys would jump from one tree to another. He's not going to get his caps back. And he loses the whole thing. Okay, thank you, Mishti. I hope all of you got the right answer. Let's go to the last. What do you think about mode of goodness person? How a mode of goodness person reacts? Who has not spoken today so far? Who has not spoken today so far? Okay, Panshul. Yes, go ahead. You haven't spoken. You're the first time speaking today. How a mode of goodness person going to react?
He would instead of being angry, he will try to find out some solution where nobody gets hurt.
Yeah, because he's an intelligent person. So that's the correct answer, Panshul. Who knows? What's the solution? What can you do to get the caps back from the monkeys? Anvi, yes, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Ma'am, sir.
Sir? Looks like you're too much studying in your school these days, huh? You have ma'am and sir, and you're calling me ma'am and sir now. All right, Anvi, go ahead.
Prabhuji, so the man will means the we have heard that the monkeys copy. So he will throw his cap, and then the monkeys will copy. And after they all throw their cap, then he would means collect them all, and he can go.
Yes, and that is what means of using of intelligence. Nand Kumar, I know you knew all the three answers, so be happy. Okay, all right. So that's the whole point. That's correct, Advi. And that's what mode of goodness person will do. So you see, I'll conclude with this point. It's the same situation, but different people are going to react differently. You're getting the point? Why different people react differently to the same situation is because of, are they wearing a gold chain or not wearing a gold chain? Are they tied up with the mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of tamoguna or ignorance? Jagannath, are you giving me a four-handed form of yours? Seems like you have four hands right now today. Okay. Your two hands disappeared. Now you only have two hands. Good. So the point here is, like that, our free will is taken away and we get conditioned because of the modes. So now the question remains, how do we become free? Because none of you want to be tied up with a gold chain, silver chain, and iron chain. All of us want to be freed. So how all of us can be freed from these chains and how we can come out of the prison house? What is the process? What we need to do? That will be the discussion for tomorrow. It's over time for today. It's already beyond 8 o'clock. It's 8:07. We have already gone more than 1 hour for discussion. So I'll pause here. Thank you so much for attending today's discussion. I'm so happy to see all of you could understand this difficult subject. And here we'll open the forum for any questions now. Any questions? Who has a question here? Let's go. Jagannath, you start first. Jagannath, unmute.
Yes. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in our school there. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, can you hear?
Yeah, you're too loud. Keep the mic a little farther, little distance.
Okay. Prabhuji, in our school, they says that how the earth was formed. They says that one abnormal cloud.
Wait a second. Keep the mic a little away. You're almost eating up the mic. Keep a little away and speak. It's too loud. Okay, now speak, Jagannath.
Prabhuji, in our school, in the history, they are teaching that an enormous cloud spinning very, very hot. It was very, very hot, and it is many, many hot gases. So it was spinning very much that it formed into many parts, and that parts called the planet, and it
You know what? It sounds like a description of a person who's having constipation. You know, who's not able to digest food, and many gases are formed in the stomach, and it looks like a description of that. You know, so maybe a person who gave this theory was having an indigestion and he was not able to digest food. That's the reason all the gases forming in his stomach went up to his head, and he came up with this theory of the gases and the creation of the planets. This is all bogus. All right, Jagannath. Just because you're studying in a school and for the sake of getting marks, you can write this indigestion story. But do not believe in this indigestion story as a cause of creation, okay? Thank you, Jagannath. Let's go to someone else who has another question now here. Anyone here whose hand I see? Yes, Kavya, go ahead. So I promise I'll come to all of you. Have patience, okay? We'll go one by one. Yes, Kavya.
Prabhuji, I have a question. Why have they kept the 3 modes? Like, why can't everybody be why can't everybody be the same?
Oh, why can't everyone react in the same manner, be caught in a different same manner? I mean, it's just to add flavor and experience, you know, that's the first thing. And second thing, even in the prison house, if you see, there are gradations of criminals. You know, somebody who is a terrorist is kept into a dungeon in a dark chamber where there's no sunlight. Who has just robbed somebody on the road, he's kept in a normal prison house. So depending on the severity of a crime, person is kept into a different gradations of prison cells and is given that kind of punishment. So similarly, the person who has been very sinful is given a mode of ignorance kind of a bondage. Those who are a little less sinful, they are given mode of passion kind of a bondage. And those who are pure, follows dharma, they're given or they're influenced by mode of goodness. All right? That's the point here. Who else have a question? Nand Kumar, yes. You seem like you're going to break your hand.
Prabhuji, I have a question since I was small.
So you're big now.
Okay, the question is that chanting is in which mode?
Chanting in as a Shuddh Sattva is called as pure goodness.
Thank you,
Okay?
Prabhuji.
Oh, fantastic. Your question from childhood got answered so quickly. I'm happy. Who else have a question here? Let's go with Varuni. Dhruva, I'm coming next to you. And Shrirang, I see your hand. I see the hand of Adhira, Utkarsh. Is there anyone else on the second page? No. And Chandrika Vaste, I see your hand up also. Is hardly anything visible at the side of Chandrika. It's too dark, but I can see something. Yes, who is there to speak now? Varuni.
Me. Yeah, Prabhuji, I wanted to ask that, like, when this creation was not created, was there only Vishnu ji and sitting with Lakshmi ji and nothing else? Like, why did...
Yeah, the spiritual world always existed. And outside of the spiritual world, or at the boundary of the spiritual, is where Mahavishnu, not outside, it's in the spiritual world where Mahavishnu is lying in a causal ocean. And from Mahavishnu comes Garbhodaksha Vishnu, which you can call it as a boundary of the spiritual or material world in one sense, not precisely, but roughly. And from that Garbhodaksha Vishnu comes the material creation. Okay. So the point that was Lord getting bored before the material creation because he has no other job to do? No, not like that. He always had something else to do. The creation had been going on since the beginning of the time. Because when you make a city, you make a prison house then and there. You don't make a prison house later on. So it was always part of the system. It had been always there from the beginning, okay?
But Prabhuji, like, why did Brahmaji come out of his navel, and what was the point of Brahmaji coming out? And because that before this?
Yeah, so Brahma is the first living entity of the creation.
Material world?
Yes, of the material world, of course, not the spiritual. We are talking about material world now. Brahma is the first living entity born in the material world. Now, if anyone has to be born in this material world, you need a mother and father. But there was no mother and father yet, because the first person created itself was Brahma, who was created from Narayan or Vishnu, from his Garbha directly. And then Brahma created other living entities because he had to populate this world. So he created 4 Kumaras, and then he created Rudras. Then he created the first man and a woman. And the first man in this creation his name was Swayambhuva Manu. And the first woman created in this creation, material universe, her name was Shatrupa. And when Swayambhuva Manu and Shatrupa was created, then the procreation happened, like happens today. When a male and female unite and the kids are born, which is a standard process of living entity getting birth, that's how the procreation began. And that's how the living entities began to appear in this world. Okay? Rishabdev, I will go one boy, one girl, like that, okay?
Hare Krishna
Rishabh.
Prabhuji, I have one book in which there was like they were asking a question, cutting down trees for making temple, Prabhuji. So they are asking to classify it into which in which is it goodness, passion, ignorance, or they have given combinations.
So what do you think in which mode of which mode is this activity lies in? It lies in mode of goodness. Because the purpose is to build a temple, and the temple is a place which gives you knowledge how to live life by dharma. The temple is a spiritual university which tells us what is the purpose of life. So if something like that is meant for creation, and if wood is cut for that, then that act is in mode of goodness for that purpose. However, if the wood is cut for something else, for our own purpose, for our own agenda, which is other than educating others about the spiritual science, then it can come into different mode of passion and ignorance like that. Okay, Rishabh? Okay. Who else here? Mishti, go ahead. I'm coming to each one of you, okay? Just have patience. Mishti, unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
I have a question. So, so Lakshmi ji, she came out of the Samudra Manthan, right?
Yes.
So when she came out, which Vishnu did she go to? Which one of the three Vishnus? And after that, after she comes, does she go away so the next Lakshmi can come out from the next Chaturayug? And
No. It is not like that. Did I tell you the story of how Krishna got his peacock? Or the peacock feather? We know that Krishna always have a peacock feather, right?
Yes.
But when Krishna appeared in this world, Krishna was not born with a peacock feather. Either Krishna had a flute there, but later on he got a flute and a peacock feather. Just like we discussed about the Khandav, the Sabha Parv, in which we talked about the burning of the Khandava forest, and there Agni Devta gave Krishna Sudarshan Chakra. Now Vishnu or Krishna always have Sudarshan Chakra. So what does it mean that Agni gave? The point is that Lord, for the sake of pastimes, when he comes, he performs his activities like a human. Just like Lord Ram and Sita, they are Lakshmi Narayan. They're eternally husband and wife. But yet when Lord Ram appeared, he went to Mithila to get married to Mother Sita. Isn't it?
Yes.
Sita is always the wife of Lord Ram. So why they have to get married? It's just because they have appeared here in the form of a human. So they act like that. So similarly, the Samudra Manthan gave Lakshmi. It does not mean the Lakshmi was never there with Vishnu. And all the Vishnus have Lakshmi, and it is an expansion of Radharani, from like Krishna, Balaram to Vasudeva, Anirudh, Krishna, Pradyumna. All the feminine energy manifest from Srimati Radhika. From Srimati Radhika expands into Mother Lakshmi, and from Mother Lakshmi expands into Parvati, Saraswati, what we call as Durga, and other forms. So it's the same thing. So the Lakshmi is not different. The Lakshmi is the same only. They're consort of the Lord. So which Vishnu it went to? Mother Lakshmi went to Vishnu. Which Vishnu, that is not mentioned because the consort is same. It's Lakshmi. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Dhruva.
Prabhuji, I had a question that you told that there are three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. So, what is the mode in the spiritual world? What mode do we have in the spiritual
we don't have any bondage there. Spiritual world is freedom. It's a place of true freedom. We don't have any mode binding us. All right?
Prabhuji, and why did we come to this material world?
Yeah, that's $1 million question. Why did we came to this? Dhruva, can you remind me of this question tomorrow? We'll start our tomorrow's discussion with this question itself. Okay.
Okay,
We need
Prabhuji.
some elaboration, and because half of the students have left, so it's a very important question for everyone. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Vrinda. I see Anvi has a question. Utkarsh, Adi Lakshman, Sriranga, Adhira, and where is that? Oh, she left. Somebody was there, another girl who had a question. Okay, fine. Oh yeah, Chandrika is there. I see her now. Yes. Who I don't. Yes, Vrinda, go ahead.
Prabhuji, I had the same question. Why did we came here?
And I have the same answer for you. And what's the answer? Tomorrow we'll speak. Tomorrow we'll speak about it. I told Dhruva right now. We'll give the answer tomorrow when we start the discussion, because everyone would have this question. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Tomorrow when we start the discussion, please remind me this question. We'll start with that. Shriram, go ahead.
Prabhuji, I had 2 questions.
Oh, I can take only one question because everyone is waiting. You can WhatsApp me the other question. I'll reply it later on. Go with one question which you like to ask.
My father actually wanted to donate something and that ISKCON Hinjawadi. So can you tell the account number?
Yes, Vishwakiran Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Srirang Prabhu, you can connect with him. Srirang, you can type your mobile number on the group chat here, and Vishwakiran Prabhu will get in touch with you. Okay. Yes. Vishwakiran Prabhu, you can share the details of ISKCON Hinjawadi account.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay, Prabhuji. Yes.
Thank you, Srirang. Let's come to Chandrika. And we have Adhira, Anvi, Adi Lakshman, Utkarsh. Nandakumar, you still have a question? Okay, you have 2 questions. We'll come to you. Yes, Chandrika. I guess we didn't see you yesterday. Were you there for yesterday's session?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, okay. You didn't have a question, maybe. That's the reason I didn't see you. Yes, Chandrika.
Prabhuji, you said that this material world is like the jail. So why do we have so many facilities in the jail?
Yeah, as we said, the prison house is designed to have some basic necessities. You know, the basic necessities of accommodation, food, and living condition. Even in a prison house, you have a playground where the prisoners can play sports. They have some recreation facility in prison house also, but the facility is not like a 5-star hotel. So similarly, in this material world, we don't have a 5-star facilities like what the spiritual world residents have. You know what spiritual looks like? Can I just tell you quickly? Brahmaji says how spiritual looks like. Chintamani prakara sadma shukalpa vraksha laksha vrateshu surabhi abhipalayantam lakshmi sahastra shata sambrahma sevyamanam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. You know what spiritual world looks like? Chintamani, the every grain of a soil is a chintamani. You can touch any grain of the soil and say, my dear soil, I want this, and you will get it immediately. Every tree is a kalpa vriksha, where the mangoes grows without a peel and a seed. How yummy. You can just put the mango in your mouth fully. There is no seed in it, and you don't have to peel it. And you can go and hug the tree, and you can ask whatever you want. As much amount of mangoes and the bananas and the strawberries you want, the tree will give you everything. Lakshavrateshu surabhi, and every cow is a surabhi cow, and there are unlimited surabhi cows. Surabhi is a special cow, is a mother of all cows, which means she can fulfill all your desires. And in that world, in that spiritual world, Lord Krishna or Vishnu, precisely speaks of Vishnu, is being served by millions and millions of Lakshmi. Now, which means that's a 5-star facility. I feel you will get an idea where you're living now is a very normal facility, okay? You have the basic necessity. Now you go and hug a tree outside in your society lawn. How much ever you tell the tree, please give me one mango. At the most, you will get some, special tip from a crow sitting on top of the branch, because you tried shaking the tree and she gets upset and she passes off. And you may get some Mahaprasadam of a crow or another bird. You're not going to get a mango like that. Okay? So I guess you get an idea now. All right, Chandrika?
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Who is next here? Dheeraj.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
I have a question on Shiv Bhagwan Mahadev, how he was created, and is he also a Jiva? A life form, does he also?
No. Lord Shiva is not a Jiva. Lord Shiva has a separate personality, separate tattva. Although we spoke about God yesterday, but we didn't spoke about tattva. So Lord Shiva is also an expansion from the Lord, but he is a very, very great personality, unlike all of us. So Lord Shiva has altogether a different responsibility and different position in this whole creation. And our Acharyas gives an example of a milk and a yogurt. The yogurt comes from milk, but the milk cannot come from yogurt. So Shiva is like a yogurt, which comes from a milk, which means Vishnu. But from yogurt, milk cannot come, which means the Vishnu cannot come from Shiva. But Shiva, because Krishna is a source of all, from him, the Lord Shiva also comes. And Lord Shiva has his own role and responsibility in the maintenance of this creation. And he lives at the boundary of the material world and spiritual world. That's where he has his eternal abode, called as Kailash. Not the Kailash that we know on this planet Earth, but that's where he has a Kailash, where he lives eternally with his consort Parvati. Okay, Neeraj? Hare Krishna. Adira. Anvi, where are you? You had a question too, right? Adira, go ahead.
Prabhuji, like I had a question yesterday. You told about like the like many persons who invented different types of like gods and all, like who told about different gods like Christian and all. So Buddha wrote it by himself. So is it true like there is some god like Buddha told? Is it there?
Okay, I not necessarily understood your question, but as far as Buddha is considered, or not considered, Buddha is concerned, he is said to be the one of the expansions of Lord Vishnu.
Yes.
And that is what is mentioned in our scriptures itself. So Buddha is considered as a liberated personality in Buddhism. Unlike other religions, where Prophet Muhammad is considered to be a saint, sent by the God Allah, Jesus Christ is a son of Christ, like that. They're great personalities. In case of Buddha was considered a liberated personality. And for Buddhists, Buddha is all in all. There's nothing beyond Buddha.
Why did Vishnu created another god?
So Lord appears in different forms, like Lord Ram, Lord Narasimhadev, Vamana, Vara Avatar, to fulfill different promises given by his devotees. Because Brahma had given a promise to Hiranyakashipu, he cannot be killed by a man, he cannot be killed by an animal, he cannot be killed by any living entity. That's the reason Lord had to take a form of
Narasimhadev.
Yes. Similarly, Lord had to appear as a Buddha to fulfill a purpose.
Like to fulfill the purpose, like to teach people good values in this generation, not to kill like demons and all.
Yes. So there was a purpose. Of course, the subject matter, I'm not going in details right now, but that's the whole point. Buddha had a purpose to be fulfilled. And for that purpose, Lord had appeared as a Buddha, because at that point of time, 2,500 years ago, the protectors of Dharma, which means Brahmanas, had become very irreligious. And on the name of Dharma, they were doing adharma. They were killing animals, eating flesh, and a lot of sinful activities. So to abolish that irreligious activities done by the religious people, Buddha had to come to stop irreligion. And that is why Lord had appeared in the form of Buddha. Okay? Anvi, next to you. And we are coming to Adi Lakshman and Utkarsh, and we are closing for the day.
I don't have a doubt.
Oh, so what do you wish to say? Hare Krishna? Is that what you want to say?
No, I did raise my hand only.
Oh, my goodness. I'm daydreaming. Maybe I'm tired. I saw both your hands high up. All right. Adi Lakshman. Shri, I'm coming to you. Quick. Yes, Adilakshmi.
Prabhuji, I have a doubt that Lakshmi Mata was formed in 3 times or only 1 time. Many stories I heard that 3 times Lakshmi Mata had come. And this time,
3 times she has come, matlab?
3 times she had born. Again and again she came. In churning of the milk ocean and...
Oh, so Mother Lakshmi appeared in different, yeah, so that's possible. Just like the Lord appears in different, just like the Lord appears in...
She came 3 times.
I am not aware of what reference are you speaking about.
One more doubt, Prabhuji, that many many avatars of Lord Krishna is there, and in that Buddha avatar is in which is coming from before Krishna avatar or after Krishna avatar?
So Buddha just came 2,500 years ago.
So after Krishna avatar?
Yeah, Krishna came 5,000 years ago.
Okay.
Right?
I thought that before Krishna avatar.
No. Buddha just came. Buddhism is just a recent religion. Srirang, then Nand Kumar and Utkarsh.
You said to type my number in the chat, but it's disabled.
Oh, chat is disabled. Vishwakiran. Oh, chat is enabled, Srirang.
Prabhuji, I did it now.
It now.
Oh, you did it now. Okay.
And Prabhuji, I wanted to ask that that how did Lord Vishnu came?
Came where? Came to your house or my house? Which house?
No.
Where did he came? Where did he came? Make a whole statement, please.
Means now where means I wanted to ask that before Lord Vishnu, what was there?
Yeah, so the question looks like you're a little tired now. That's the reason you're confusing with framing. Shirang, let's hold on to this question tomorrow. We'll start with question answers tomorrow, okay? I'll answer your question tomorrow precisely. Utkarsh, quickly.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I know the shloka which you told the first shloka today.
Perfect. We'll recite that shloka tomorrow. We'll hear from you tomorrow.
And Prabhuji, I have a doubt in Mahabharata that when Draupadi...
Mahabharata doubt we'll take it later on. Today we were discussing about material world. Okay? You can write down your doubt. Yes,
Prabhuji,
go ahead.
You gave the homework note, the first shloka and the last some shloka. The first shloka was given before only.
Yeah. Wonderful. So how many of you have taken part in the third quiz? The results will be announced today evening or tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. And the quiz 4 is ready. I might release it tomorrow, maybe today or maybe tomorrow. I guess tomorrow is a better day. So you can peacefully study and do it. How are the quiz going on? You're happy with the quiz? You're liking it?
Yes.
Nandakumar, did you do any quiz so far or no? Only one quiz. What are the second and third quiz? Unmute yourself.
I didn't know.
Oh, so bad. You should do it. All right. So with that, I conclude for today.
Sir, I have a question. I have 2 questions.
No, because you did not do 2 quiz, so I will not let you 2 questions asked today. You solve the quiz and I'll answer your question. Yes, Nandkumar, we'll take your 1 question today. And second question once you do the quiz. Go ahead.
I'll do 1 plus 1 question.
1 plus 1? No, only 1 question. I know only simple mathematics. Go ahead quickly.
Okay, my question is that was Radharani always there like Krishna?
So, it's Krishna who is the supreme personality of Godhead. And from his, I don't go into technical details, but the first 2 expansions from Lord Shri Krishna were Shri Radha and Balarama.
Because I
Radha, the word Radha means who's meant to serve Krishna. The word Radha means service to Krishna. That's what the meaning of word Radha. Like that, Srimati Radharani had appeared and also Balram. And for Balram, all the other expansion of Vishnus and Jivatmas that had happened like that. Okay? Thank you, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hari